emotional control doesn't mean not feeling. I see this all the time. Parents, they're out with their kids in public and the parents are mortified, embarrassed, shamed. How dare my child express emotions? Billy, stop yelling, stop climbing, stop screaming, stop throwing things. Sally, sit up straight. How dare you? Don't ever. You need to. You see, the parents are just, I don't know what. They're embarrassed. They're worried about other people's judgment. They don't want to be an inconvenience. I'm not exactly sure. But what I can tell you is when you make your kids wrong for their emotions, it doesn't help them feel safe. It makes them feel like actually worried, and it makes the problem worse over time. The idea of emotional control is not, hey, don't feel that. That's emotional suppression. And what happens when you put people under pressure, that stuff always shoots out sideways and it can become explosive. So we want to let ourselves, let our kids experience their emotions. Feel it. It's okay to feel what you feel. What you do while you're feeling it is more important. But how you feel is how you feel. And let's figure out, what got you to feeling that way. I don't want to say, why are you feeling that way? Because why a lot of times will give you a story. What got you feeling that way? That takes me towards the strategy, the structure, the sequence of events that we could then change around the interpretation or the understanding that you or your kids are having. So we can change all that stuff. If I say why, that's a much bigger conversation. And a lot of times it just sits and it spins and spins and spins. So why is not the best question you can be asking. So we want to understand we're allowed to feel the emotion. We're allowed to experience it. And then we have a choice. How can we release it? How can we submit to it? Because maybe it's grief. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's we're nervous about something. And we could submit to that and say, well, what's really going on? Oh, I'm not feeling confident because I'm not prepared. I'm not sure of the audience. I'm not sure of my material. Okay, cool. We can prepare. We can do some extra steps. We can do some rehearsals. There's things we can do to make that situation better. But maybe instead of submitting to the emotion, maybe I want to release the emotion so I can acknowledge that fear or acknowledge that grief and then take action anyway. Move forward anyway. Just because I feel an emotion is not a reason necessarily for me to stop whatever it was that I was going to do. Emotions are, especially the negative emotions, they are warning signs. They are requests from something inside of us saying, hey, I need more support. I need more certainty. I need validation. I need acknowledgement. And so if we entertain those, if we entertain those emotions, then we can begin to unlock what's really going on and get to the deeper level, right? I talked about this earlier when I said anger is often about something else. It's usually protecting a more gentle emotion or a scarier emotion. So you're allowed to have your emotions, and controlling your emotions doesn't mean don't feel. It means begin to understand them, and then you can release them. And now on a physical side, some practical tools. All of us, emotions, we do about 90% the same. So if I put a screen and I told you somebody is depressed behind this picture, tell me how they're standing, tell me how they're breathing, tell me where they're looking. 90% as a species, we do the emotions the same way. When you see somebody who's depressed, they have their shoulders up, they have their eyebrows up, they have their face lit up, they're looking up, they have a big smile. This is a sign of depression. Or do you begin to see the shoulders droop, and you might see a mismatch between the face and the body is more what we call kyphotic. It's more rounded in the shoulders, so they're down more. Or they might have the chest up, but they're looking down, or they're curling their neck, or they're pushing their head forward. So depression has some pretty significant hallmarks that you can start to see. The way they carry their chest, the way they speak, the things they speak about. There's a recipe there. So one of the best ways to start getting into stronger emotions, it seems simple, but if you stand like a superhero for 2 minutes, one, you'll feel ridiculous. But if you stand there for 2 minutes like a superhero and you stand confident, shoulders back, feet planted wide, hands on your hips, maybe a fist up in the air, when you stand like that, it stimulates the pathways in your brain that reinforce confidence. So if you have a child who gets nervous or scared, have them practice standing like a superhero, breathing like a superhero, talking inside their head like a superhero for 2 minutes. And then have them do the activity and see if you notice a bit of a difference, a little more confidence, a little more strength. And this is a skill. It's a muscle. The more we practice it, the more we build it, easier it gets. And if this resonates with you, as always, please hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up down below. Turn on notifications so you'll know when the next video goes live. And you know what? Drop me a message sometime. Leave me a comment down below. I'd love to know what you're interested in or what concerns or challenges you're having with your kids or your parenting. And I'd love to be a resource. And you make it an outstanding day. I will see you when I see you. Bye.